The United Nations is expected to announce next week that the number of Syrian refugees has passed 1 million. But the UN Refugee Agency doesn't take into account those who haven't registered as refugees. The UN believes more than 950,000 people have fled Syria since the conflict began, and around 4 million are internally displaced. You've got more than 180,000 who've escaped to Turkey. Because of instability, not many people are going to Iraq, but it still has about 100,000 Syrian refugees. And then the camps in Jordan, they're hosting more than 300,000 people. Around 320,000 are in Lebanon as well. Rula Amin spoke to some of the Syrians now living in Beirut.
24-year-old Abed finds comfort in drinking zhurat, his own Syrian-made herbal tea. He ran away to Lebanon almost a year ago, but only to continue his struggle. He spends most of his time helping Syrian refugees. Abed says he turned down an offer to immigrate to Sweden.
I want to stay as close as possible to Syria. I can't go any further away than this. Nothing is like the air in Damascus. It just feels different.
Tens of thousands of Syrians have crossed the border into Lebanon in the past 2 years. Some on foot with no money. Others with most basic of belongings. And some with lots of money who are staying at luxury hotels and apartments in Beirut. Theoretically, 1 of every 5 people who walk here past me is Syrian. But many rather keep a very low profile, especially the wealthy ones. They're not as confident as before that the regime of Bashar al-Assad is about to be toppled soon. Many still commute between Damascus and Beirut, and they don't want to burn their bridges with the government there. Abdul Qadir had his own business in Idlib. He came to Lebanon 5 months ago.
I'm not working here, only spending money and eating up my savings.
Dia Brahim has been here for 2.5 months.
I barely can make ends meet with the income I have here. We were doing very well back home.
Yaman Battiha is an illustrator of children's books. He resisted leaving until 2 weeks ago. He says he left his life behind after the security situation got worse.
The conflict won't end soon because the whole world does not want this story to end.
Yaman is torn. He has left behind his parents, 2 brothers and a sister. He says every day he yearns to go back. Rula Amin, Jazeera, Beirut.
Let's go live to Amman and speak to Andrew Harper, who is the representative for UN Refugee Agency in Jordan. Nice to have you with us. I almost want to go, Andrew, past the 1 million number. It's a huge number, obviously, and it's a hugely symbolic number. Can you put any sort of estimate on what the real number might be when we start to take in the number of unregistered refugees?
Well, the Jordanian government says there's probably about 415,000 Syrians in the country. 300,000 of them are actually registered with UNHCR. So UNHCR has probably got about 3/4 of them already registered. So we would estimate that the numbers in the entire region is obviously much more than the 1 million mark. But what we're attempting to do now is to greatly enhance our capacity, put on hundreds more staff throughout the region so that we can register everyone who wants to come forward. One of the challenges is that we not only have to register those people who are in the country, but every night we have about 5,000 more Syrians cross the border who also need to be registered. So it's a massive task.
And you're in a position to do that? You said you want to put on extra staff and make sure all these people get registered. You're actually, financially in a position to do that?
Well, we've got no choice. We will do it because people are coming to UNHCR and we will register them. The other issue is to make sure that they've got the necessary assistance, but we will put on additional staff. We're opening up offices throughout the region. We're basically doing whatever is necessary to make sure that those people who are in need of assistance, who need the protection, can come to UNHCR and be registered. But the big challenge that we've got after that is the level of assistance, and that's where we're still struggling through a lack of resources.
And these people go into a kind of suspended existence, don't they? They're in the camp. They don't know how long they're going to be there. It will start to have a semi-permanent feel, I think, just because the war's carrying on. Kids don't get access to schooling, all these sorts of things. They just go into limbo.
Well, The Jordanian government is just doing a fantastic job, and this is what I've always been saying, that they should not be taken for granted, because that children do have access to school, they do have access to health services. We are trying to provide as much as we can in the camp environment, but also outside of that. But when you have the equivalent of Jordan's population increasing by 1% every month, and you've got thousands of people crossing every day, there's just enormous burdens and challenges, not only for the government of Jordan, but also for all the agencies who are here to assist the government and people of Jordan. Because we have to provide the shelter, we have to provide the food, we have to provide the water, we have to provide the protection. And this is something which we're not too sure how many more Syrians will be coming across the border in the coming days, weeks and months.
Oh, extraordinary. Andrew, thank you for that. Andrew Harper giving us a bit more insight into what's happening in these Syrian refugee camps. Thank you.